Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay. We're at the ISE 2015 here in Amsterdam, and this is pre-day one. This is the last day of setup for the ISE show here in Amsterdam, and there's going to be a lot of new products, but a lot of new technology here at the show. And here's one of the newest technologies that you probably haven't heard about, but it's actually been around a little while. I'd like to, first of all, we're here at AptoVision, and you may not know this company, but it's a company that if you'll do a search on our website, you'll find some stuff that we've written about them, and I'm going to write a blog following this video. First, introduce yourself and tell them what you do.
Thank you, Gary.
I'll hold it for you.
Okay. I'm Kamran Ahmed, CEO and co-founder of AptoVision. So what we've developed here is a technology that really changes the paradigm for AV signal distribution. In the past, AV signal distribution is done using chips that require custom platforms, custom matrix switches that can be extremely expensive. We're changing that paradigm, allowing the transmission and switching of uncompressed audio video over off-the-shelf 10G switches.
Well, let me make sure I sort of dumb this down for our audience a little bit. So basically, what he's talking about is this is a new way of doing matrix switching and signal distribution that's different than the way that the traditional companies like Extron, Crestron, AMX, Kramer, companies like that do it, where you have a bunch of inputs and a bunch of outputs to send a signal. And from a one-to-one computer interfacing standpoint, this is a different way of doing it, because instead of sending RGB, HV, or HDMI or DVI from one end to the other, you're converting it to a network signal that, as long as you have a 10 gigabit 10 gigabit network switch, then you can then send any input to any output just by using a transmitter on the source side and a receiver on the display side. But you go a little bit further than that, because in addition to just doing transmission uncompressed video, you're also able to manipulate the signal so that you can do some pretty cool things on the display side.
Absolutely. So because we're going through a packet router, now we're not just switching complete frames or one video to one display. Each of our receiver boxes can subscribe to multiple videos simultaneously to have cool applications like multi-view or video wall or independent audio-video switching that can be done through the packet routing system. So if we want to jump to the demo, I can show.
All right, so let's come around here with the camera.
Right, so here what you're seeing is five 4K displays showing 4K going through a 10G switch at the same time.
So he's using basically a software switch, a software that he's basically just moving the elements of sources to the displays, and he can change the configuration of how things are displayed by just clicking software, because it's all on your network switch, right?
Absolutely. So here's a great example. Now what you were seeing earlier was a full frame being routed to a 4K display, and now we've changed that and made it into a multi-view application where the particular receiver connected to this display is subscribing to multiple videos that exist on the network and display them in real time. This is uncompressed pixel for pixel video.
So like the difference here would be, for HD base T, you're probably familiar with sending signals across Cat5. This is sort of similar to that, except you're sending across a network. Because you're sending across a network and all the signals are residing on the switch, each of the receivers can receive whatever input you send to it, but it can also receive multiple inputs simultaneously and display them in whatever configuration you want. So it's all you're doing is receiving data and displaying the data uncompressed. And I assume that it doesn't have to just be 4 windows. There could be as many as you want then.
Yes, it can. There can be as many as you want. We're only limited by the 10 gig pipe that's coming in. As long as the input sources are downscaled to begin with, you can have hundreds of them on the same display, and we never exceed the pipe. Now on the other side, we're showing the opposite scenario, where instead of subscribing to multiple video, the same video is now going to 4 displays and in the form of a video wall. So
you're breaking into a video wall application and can move it around. That's just software based.
Absolutely. And this video wall can be as big as you want. So now what we've done is, on the same platform, combine a video wall application and a multi-view application, and I'll do one more manipulation here. So at the bottom left screen now, should show up in a second, we're back to a matrix switching application. So on the same platform, we've replaced 3 independent pieces of hardware, i.e. video wall controller, matrix switcher, and multi-viewer, all by just having endpoint boxes such as transmitters and receivers with an off-the-shelf 10 gigabit switch in the middle and some really cool software to drive this application.
So this company's called AptoVision, and they're based out of Australia. That's an interesting.
Based out of Canada. Jerry here is based.
Okay, so one lucky guy gets to live in Australia. Sorry, you're based out of Montreal, Canada. I apologize. But to learn more information about your technology and what you're doing, just go to AptoVision.com.
Yes.
All right. So, and the chip technology is called BlueRiver NT, and it runs on any switch as long as it's 10 gigabits. And of course, the network companies are going to love your technology because you're using bandwidth. But in reality, this is an interesting way of doing things because everything becomes truly network-based, which is something we've been talking about for 6 or 7 years now.
Yes. So currently, the market for custom matrix AV switches is about $3 billion. As you can imagine, no 10G switches are sold into this market today. So right away, it creates a $3 billion market for companies like Cisco, Extreme Networks, Arista, etc., etc. So there's a lot of interest from the networking companies and the IT companies in our technology because it enables a whole new market for their technologies.
So again, this is AptoVision, AptoVision.com. Thanks for watching, and we're going to keep moving our way around the show floor here and see if we can find some other neat things before the show actually opens. We'll be back here to shoot some other videos as well, so if you want to see about the specific products, in addition to their partners that they have already signed up, all you got to do is go into our search on our website, type in AptoVision. Otherwise, keep watching.